2021, which we are organizing 27th to the 29th of October, which is next week. And it's our great delight that we have Dr. Professor Harivansh Chaturvedi here.
Hi.
Namaste, Dr. Saab. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Very good to have you. BIMTech has been a leading academic institution promoting sustainability and sustainability education. So we are extremely honored and delighted to have BIMTech, which is co-hosting a session on day 3, which is the 29th of October from 11:45 a.m. to 1:15 a.m. on sustainability education in business schools.
We are
Uh,
grateful to CRB for giving this opportunity.
we are very happy to be working with you, and BIMTech has been a long-term partner of CRB for our work engaging academic institutions. So extremely happy that to see BIMTech take this initiative forward. Um, Before we get into the conversation, let me also introduce my guest, our guest here today. He needs no introduction to the academic world, but I think for the benefit of others, and it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi. He's professor and director at the Birla Institute of Management Technology, BIMTech, which is based out of its campus in Greater Noida, and also has been the director of the AICTE, the statutory body of the Government of India, for a period of time. 45 years of experience in teaching, research, and academic institution and academic administration. So, extremely happy and to have you. You're also the executive president of the Education Promotion Society for India,
Yes,
which
sir.
is a national network of universities and B schools. So you have been engaging with all these institutions.
Thank you, Sen Gupta ji, for this generous introduction.
Thank you so much once again for joining us. So, if we can start the conversation uh, at the outset, can you give us a little bit of an overview about BIMTech and the work that the institution has been doing on sustainability education and research all these years, Professor?
So, our institute was established in 1988, and we started operating from a small campus at New Delhi, Pushpa Vihar. We could not do in this domain much till 2004 when we have got a new residential campus at Greater Noida. It is spread in 10 acres. And there was a challenge that how shall we develop the campus? And there was a lot of open space and also some statutory requirement of following environmental laws of the Greater Noida Development Authority. And our students and faculty, they have taken deep interest in making this campus green, clean, and toxic-free campus. We have given this slogan to all the constituents of our institute that it should be toxic free, means student, faculty, staff, they should not use any toxic material. Number two, they should take care the environment, not only of the campus, but for the issues related to environment uh, being discussed world over. Our students have set up a club, Friends of Earth, to talk about environmental issues. And we have started working in this domain very actively after 2010 or so. Now our campus, which is very open, green campus, we have planted more than 1,800 kinds of trees. We are using solar power in our campus. We have invested a lot of money, but still our plans are not completed. So we will look for 100% power using from solar plant. And also we have started thinking about sustainability as a subject, responsible business as a subject in our course curriculum. So we have introduced 10 years back a responsible business course. And uh, along with this course, we have also enrolled ourselves as the member of PRME, which is part of United Nations Global Compact, which requires that all the signatory B schools they should take care the environmental issues, ethical issues, and other social issues which are important for managers. Thirdly, we have started taking research in this area very seriously. We encouraged our faculty to do researches in sustainability and uh, social responsibility domain. And we have given uh, some extra incentive to the faculty that if we are giving 1 lakh rupees incentive for a particular research paper on a non-environmental issue, for environment, if the faculty is doing research paper, publishing research paper on an environmental issue, sustainability issue, then we will give 1.2 lakh. If we are giving 5 lakhs, then it will become 6.25 or more than 6 lakhs. So it was an indicator that the sustainability, ethical issues, responsible business issues are very close to the heart of BIMTech. So last 10 years have been a very exciting journey. Now we are realizing that world over there is a big awakening about the climate related issues, global warming issues, and we are talking to our constituents, student, faculty, recruiters that global pandemic is not the only pandemic which has come, but there will be more and more pandemic and disasters will continue to come. And currently we are having heavy rains across the country in October, which has not been the usual rains because rains have a timeline. And if untimely rains or drought are recurring or coming again and again, then definitely it will create a lot of disasters, lot of disruption in the normal life of the people. It will disrupt economy, it will disrupt agriculture. So I think these issues we have been taking up at all forums in our institute, outside our institute. We have been working with the national bodies like National HRD Network, Global Compact Network, and IMA on sustainability and CSR issues. So, in short, this is the journey which we have followed, and we
Right.
are very much delighted and privileged to have association with CRB.
Sure. Thank you, sir. And I think what you mentioned. It is very clear that there has been, right from the word go, right from the beginning, right from the foundation of the institution, there has been a focus on sustainability, and this has gradually evolved into integrating sustainability into your teaching and research. And now you're looking forward in terms of how this can be taken forward in terms of, as an institution where you train future managers, future business leaders, on how the elements can be integrated.
Just,
um,
just I would like to add one
sure,
thing.
please.
Within next 2 years, we want to make it carbon free or zero carbon campus.
Great.
We are talking to the consultants who will guide us, help
Very
us,
good.
and we are ready to invest money to make it zero carbon or carbon free.
Great. So you are a living example of what we say, practicing what we're preaching. So you're really practicing what you're preaching through the institution. So that's very good. Leadership really it has to come from the leadership and leaders like you. Um, um, and in our understanding and discussion, what we've realized is that sustainability is no longer an external or an abstract issue. It is much more closer, to mainstream business. It is much more closer to business strategy. So therefore, integration of sustainability into business curricula, into management curriculum, is very, very critical. And this is exactly, your the subject of the session that BIMTech is going to host at the conference next week. So, can you highlight a little bit about your own thoughts of how do you uh, envisage this integration to happen, of how we, as you rightly said, sustainability is now a walk of life, and in various ways you are trying to integrate it into the institution, into the curriculum, etc. In your thinking, how can this be done in a manner is which by which we are able to understand that sustainability is no longer an additional external topic, but it is really fundamental to the way we do business management and business curriculum. So can you share your thoughts on that, sir?
Yes, a few years back, a global survey was made when Harvard completed 100 years of its establishment, and a very surprising finding came that majority of the students studying in Ivy League B schools, uh, they were willing to join in a company which serves to the cause of sustainability, and even at a lesser salary. And they are not willing to join a company which is breaking the uh, laws related to sustainability, causing harm to the environment. And so now this has come to India also, but in India, the level of awareness about sustainability is not as deep as we find in some of the uh, nations of Europe and other developed world. And of course, there have been movements like Chipko movement in our country and different parts of our country for protecting the environment and serving the issues related to sustainability. But still, the industries and education, they have to mainstream their commitment to sustainability. Like we started teaching social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, and we renamed it responsible business. But as a subject, stand-alone subject. And in management education, already there is a problem that we are teaching subjects uh, in silos, like marketing, finance, OBHR, operations. We are not teaching as business happens, in any transaction of business as an integrated kind of thing. So this is a problem, endemic problem, inflicting or affecting business education. Similarly, the B schools have taken a cue from the global leaders and Ivy League B school for teaching sustainability and responsible business, but still uh, it will take some time to mainstream the curriculum of business schools, which will require that in each subject, core or elective, there will be some portion or some discussion on the sustainability, how sustainability affect HR, or how sustainability affects finance, how the green finance is important, or
Exactly.
how the supply chain can be green. So I think mainstream of business curriculum needs some effort at national level. BIMTech and EPSI would like to take
Very good.
some initiative. Of course, we will need guidance and support from the civil society organization like CRB.
Sure. No, that's absolutely fascinating that what you've said, that it's no longer the subject of sustainability cannot be looked at as a separate subject. It has to be mainstreamed into how we design curriculum not just curriculum but also research on finance, on HR, on organizational behavior, so on and so forth, which is very good. I think that's also aligned to what many organizations and institutions are doing uh, globally. And also, I think the other thing that you highlighted was in terms of the process. So how do you? One is the content, the other is the process. In terms of the process, when we talk about integration, and you mentioned that that right now the challenges before us are grand problems. Therefore, the future managers will be dealing with grand problems, and they have to the students who are coming out of the institutions, they have to have that kind of orientation. And therefore, something that I think we have discussed earlier is also the idea of bringing the businesses and the academic community closer, so that the needs of business and the challenges that businesses face in a changing VUCA world, uh, primarily from a sustainability perspective, is also understood and integrated into the business curriculum. And that's an area, in addition to the content, the process of getting this alignment between the business schools and the business and the industry sector will really be useful. So thank you very much for that overview. Finally, we want to understand in terms of going forward. You've been a pioneer, really, personally, and also the organization has really been a pioneer on sustainability education and research. Going forward over the next 10 years, when, as you also said, that things are becoming much more granular, sustainability challenges are becoming things of everyday newspaper and television highlights, the challenges that we see, the risks that we look at. So if we can think about the next 10 years, what do you envisage as a visionary leader in the education space, of how do you think sustainability education will grow going forward, and is there something interesting, innovative that you're also thinking for BIMTech in terms of its long-term agenda? If you can throw some light on that.
BIMTech is part of 3,000 plus business school of the country, also 45,000 plus colleges, 1,000 plus universities. But we can definitely play our role as a catalyst by taking the help from the network in which I am working since last 16 years, that is Education Promotion Society for India. We need to first influence the policymakers. Policymakers, particularly civil servants in governments, they are awakened to the issue, but still, when we come to the implementation, there is no clarity, and sometimes there is a lack of awareness about long-term needs of the planet, like use of plastic, single-use plastic. It is very less costly for packaging loose goods, but in long term, it is going to cause havoc for our environment. And I can give you one example. Not only it is polluting our sewer systems and our rivers, but even cows. I am from Mathura, and people have a lot of respect for cows and other animals. And their cows have been eating the food packed or food waste left in plastic, and they are eating plastic. And after some time, that plastic is accumulated in the stomach of the cow, and they die very. It's a cruel death for a cow when she has a lot of plastic in its uh, stomach. So I think the business has so far not paid attention. I'm not forgetting there are companies, there are business houses which are very sensitive to sustainability issues. But along with sustainability, I think the corporate social responsibility and human rights, these are also important. So our planet requires a long-term view. India requires a long-term view about environment, social responsibility, equity, and human rights. And we have signed uh, climate talks in 2015 in Paris. All countries of the world have signed, but the big nations, rich nations, they are faltering from their commitment. But I think uh, our country is always mired in some short-term problem crisis, like currently COVID problem we are facing, or sometimes there is price rise. And our approach, whole approach of the system is firefight. When there is a fire, only then fight. Uh, don't envisage, don't plan for firefighting. And there are accidents, there are tragedies. Only after then we realize that we should do something. So if we are waiting for some big tragedy, small
Right.
tragedies are still happening in the form of floods, drought. All big cities like Mumbai, Gurugram, Bengaluru, Chennai, all big cities, Kolkata have witnessed floods
Mm.
because we have
Sure.
neglected. In Hyderabad, we have neglected. So there are massive floods. People
Sure.
die. There is damage to the economy. And we are not taking measures to restore damages which have been done to the environment. In Bangalore, this is a big problem that lakes, there were a lot of lakes in Bangalore, and all kinds of pollutants are being
Right.
thrown into the lakes. So I think we need to create a long-term mindset among the business school students, among the university students, among school students. Even a child studying in a class one can be given some uh, beginning, some ABCD of environmental sensitivity, that you should take care of the environment, plants, animals. You should not use single-use plastic, and we can train our generation, which will be our future maker within next 10 years or so. So I think it is not only a question of these schools to take the cause,
Right.
but it is also required that the recruiters or the industry associations like FICCI, CII, they should they should take an introspection whether Indian companies are taking enough measures to make them sustainability compliant.
Sure.
Similarly, all universities and colleges, I think policymakers under the NEP, they will have to find ways and means that all campuses should be sustainable, zero carbon, and it cannot happen without support, financial support of the government. There should be some support and incentive to make campuses carbon free, where students and teachers and staff can be involved for making the campus carbon free.
Absolutely, yeah. As we also see, some of the participants have also been providing their inputs. It's an absolute whole of society approach, as you rightly said. That academic institutions, businesses, industry associations, experts, and various other organizations, technical organizations, international organizations need to come together. But I think at the end of the day, what matters is really individual leadership and initiative. And we are extremely pleased and honored to have somebody like you who's at the helm and he's been driving this agenda. So we thank you once again for joining us today and sharing your thoughts. It starts with each individual, and I think whether that individual is in an academic institution or in a business organization or a civil society or any other part of society, if we start to do our own bit, um, and provide those provide as you rightly said, don't wait for an
A
accident
big
to
disaster.
happen, but start proactively to make some small steps. I think that's the future, and we hope to see more proactive initiatives from BIMTech under your leadership. So thank you once again, sir, and we would like to invite everybody who's watching this live telecast and others who will watch it to please join us on the 29th of October next week to hear the the views of Professor Chaturvedi and the colleague at the session Sustainability Education in Business Schools from 11:45 to 1:15 p.m. Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always, and
Namaste.
take care and namaste
Thank
and,
you. Thank you.
and all the best. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.